Welcome back to another one of our Bonfire beer reviews. Whew, it's been a long time since we've done a beer review, hasn't it?
It has been.
Oh my goodness. This is the first episode and it is the first weekend of November. I can't believe it is already November. So it's tried to snow a couple of times, but so far it hasn't really accumulated. So we had a couple of snowfalls recently, but they've melted. So this is one of those rare days where it's not windy, it's not super cold.
It's nice.
Yeah.
It's actually like
really nice
40
today.
degrees.
Yeah, it's really nice today. So
which is a heat wave.
today we're going to be doing a review of the Midland Brewing Company. So we have two beers coming at you that we just purchased, and we're really excited to tell you a little bit about the brewery. We actually just looked up some history. What I find to be the very coolest thing is that this brewery opened up originally in 1935, only being successful for a couple of years and unfortunately closing down. They rebirthed themselves and decided to become a brewery again, giving homage to the history of the Midland area in 2010. So this is their 8th year of brewing.
So they went out of business back in, so we'll say 1937, I'm guessing, if they were only around for a couple of years.
Yeah, around there.
They produced at that time a lumberjack brew.
It was called the Red Ale. Not this one.
Not this one?
No, not this
one. It's a lumberjack red ale. Anyway, they reintroduced that in the original formula.
Recipe, yeah.
Recipe that they had back in 1935. So I think it's really cool that it's kind of based around the whole history of Michigan, the history of lumberjacking, and that they reintroduced a recipe from days gone by.
I think that's really cool too. Otherwise, like the biggest thing that they kind of like their company message and kind of what they gear towards is strong women who love beer and men who do jobs such as like lumberjack, rail work. Like they really try to get the yeah. And they're located right in downtown Midland by the Pure Marquette Rail Trail, which is pretty sweet. So we're excited to come and visit that brewery. Hopefully we can do it soon. I would love to visit them
it's actually not very far away.
It's like an hour and a half, I think.
Yeah, it's not very far at all.
Not too far. Anyway, enough rambling. Let's finally get into the beer. So, Dana, go ahead and tell them what beer I have on your side of the table.
All right, well, mine is called Lime Rock India Pale Ale. So it's an IPA. It's during the Mission logging boom, white pine from this region was shipped all over the Midwest. True. And New England. This IPA is named for the Lime Rock Railroad, the farthest logging railroad stop in Rockport, Maine. Lime Rock IPA is an IPA brewed with Citra and Michigan Chinook hops, giving it a juicy citrus character reminiscent of a New England IPA while maintaining the hop bitterness of a traditional IPA, fresh enough to last till the end of the line. 7% ABV and 47 IBUs.
Ooh, so it's not super heavy in the IBUs. It's pretty typical for a single IPA, but the 7% is a little bit more than I actually expected.
I'm gonna love that beer. Eileen pulled up on tap, and overall the beer is rated at a 3.5.
Yep.
Only rated by one person that we know. It's Tyler Finkbeiner. If you haven't checked this channel out, it's Review the Brew. Great channel. Awesome reviews in brewery.
Yep.
And I think he's from Michigan, right?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
Bay
So
City area.
he's actually come up north here a couple of times, and we've just missed it.
Yeah.
But anyway, 3.5. So I'm gonna give it a nose. It's already starting off okay because I've got ashes floating in my glass, which is a good sign, I guess. Smoke-infused beer.
Pretty aggressive head on that one.
It's really aggressive, and I poured it at about a 45-degree angle, which is where I'm supposed to.
And I let this warm up on the counter, so it's at the exact temperature it needs to be at. It's between 47 and 52 degrees.
So the first thing I grab is pine, like immediately.
Okay. So you're not getting citrus right away?
A little citrus, but the first thing that hits the nose is pine.
Okay.
And if this were you would have this up your nose.
I would.
So because it's such an active head. So yeah, pine, fruit, citrus, a little bit. But more pine than anything.
Okay, let me sniff it before you give it a taste.
Don't do the nose.
Don't tempt me. Don't
sniff the beer.
Well, don't mention it. I don't actually smell pine.
Nope.
No, I smell fruit. Just fruitiness. I'm trying to make sure I don't like inhale it in my nostril though, so I'm not getting like too deep in there like I want to. But yeah, just like a clean, juicy, fruity kind of a smell. I don't actually smell pine right off the bat. No.
Oh.
Nope.
exactly as I thought. I love it.
You love it more than 3.5. That was my
Yeah.
big thing.
Yeah, it's
So
probably
what
a
would you
4
say?
to me.
4.25 or just a solid 4?
Probably a 4 to me.
Okay.
It's nice and smooth, definitely fruity, a little bit of the pine. I actually only taste the pine a little bit, more of a fruit.
See,
It's
it doesn't.
smooth.
It doesn't look like it would be malty. Were you getting a malty?
I don't get a lot of malt.
Mouthfeel?
Maybe a little bit of malt, a thicker mouthfeel.
Okay.
It's full bodied. It's
All
good.
right.
It's good. Not syrupy.
I apologize for the background noise. People in our neighborhood are getting ready for winter hardcore, and they are like leaf blowing like you wouldn't believe. So a lot of leaf blowing noises in the background. Chainsaws, leaf blowers, all that kind of stuff. So I would agree. I actually really like this beer. I think it's more sweet than bitter, but the bitterness is present. But I wouldn't say it's an overly bitter beer. I don't really get a lot of pine. I more get the citrus bitterness, like almost like how a lemon can be bitter and sweet and sour. Kind of like that more so than anything else. I'd say medium to full body is the mouthfeel, and it's very, very smooth. Crisp, clean, bright, good flavors. They all kind of like mellow out as the beer settles a bit too. I think it's a good beer. I would say
Yeah, it's a
probably,
great beer.
for me, not being an IPA hophead like Dana, I have grown.
Hophead?
Hophead for sure.
That's rude.
No, you should wear that badge proudly. I'm happy that you're a hophead. Well, whatever. So I like IPAs a lot more now than I did even at the beginning of Bonfire Beer Review, after trying so many beers and being more open to the idea of just embracing every beer style. So I also would say this is like a 3.75 to 4, even for me. I'm going to be opening up the Lumberjack Brawl, which is an American wheat, and it's ale brewed with spices. Really cool can art on this one. It says Lumberjack Brawl American Wheat Ale. This wheat ale brewed with coriander, Tacoma hops, and orange peel is inspired by Saginaw Valley's most infamous brawl between Silverjack Disbrawl and Saginaw Joe Fournier. Great for enjoying after a long day of log splitting, axe grinding, and maybe even brawling. 5.5% ABV, 22 IBUs. When I pulled up Untapped, it showed that there was one rating from someone we follow, which is also, you guessed it, Tyler Finkbeiner. Looks like he had it at the brewery, which makes sense. He gave it a 4. He said it was very citrusy, tasting predominantly orange and coriander. And this is an ale brewed with spices, so I expected coriander. It's nice to know that I'm gonna actually taste it. And then the overall rating is based off 521 ratings, so not a ton. I think this may have been released this year, but nonetheless, like we said, the brewery is a microbrewery, a little bit smaller. Midland's a smaller area with not a lot of out of town traffic really going there too often. Yeah, not a lot of ratings for this one, but the overall rating is 3.57. So I'm excited to get into it. I'm excited about also the Tacoma hops. I'm wondering if I'll taste a difference. I don't think I've ever tried Tacoma hops.
I may have come across it.
To be honest, like we've tried, there's like your normal, like, yeah, I've heard of that kind of hops that are used everywhere, like in IPAs, like the India hops. But then you have some that are like specific to the Midwest or specific to Michigan. But I can't say I remember ever mentioning Tacoma, so I'm pretty excited. It is a deep orange color in the glass, a little bit foggy, not super see-through. And it almost looks like a darker version of Blue Moon in the glass, to be honest, because it is so
look
orange.
like a Blue Moon.
Yeah, there's not a lot of head. There was more head when I poured it, but still not a ton. I honestly finished the pour a little bit aggressive, and it didn't even finish out with a wide head. So it's a wheat ale. I guess I'm really not expecting much, but I expected at least a finger's worth, and I don't think I ever had that. Smells very syrupy sweet. I'm not smelling citrus first thing. I am kind of smelling like a faint orange scent, but I don't smell any spices. Go ahead and smell that really fast before I drink it.
I smell orange.
Yeah, but faintly, right?
Yeah.
Like it's not like bam orange.
No, I smell orange. I smell some of the spices. I not really citrus.
Your sniffer is doing better than me today because I didn't smell any spices.
I smell the spices. They're there. They're very, very understated.
All right, let's see. It's a really good wheat ale. I don't tend to like wheats. At one point, we drank a a fair share of wheat ales before we really got into craft beer, because it was kind of that safe zone where it still reminds you of a domestic, but you can kind of start, you know, dipping your toes in the craft beer water. So that kind of tastes like, you know, beer that I used to love but don't really like that much anymore, but better. But better, because it's like, you know how wheat beer can sometimes be like chalky and like yeasty and bready and like just kind of blah?
Yeah.
This is like, it has that bitter, hoppy edge to it, and it does taste different than other like hops, because the only hop that's in it is Tahoma. It's a single hop, and it doesn't taste like anything I've had before. And if it's been mixed in with another beer that we've had that had like a multi-faceted hop blend, you wouldn't have tasted it specifically, whereas this just being the only thing in it, it's all I taste. So I think it's really smooth, it's sweet, it's not really bitter, it has 22 IBU, so I don't expect it to be super bitter, but for a wheat ale, the fact that it's IBU rated, it's pretty cool.
It does smell like a wheat beer.
It's good.
It is good. It's
Yeah,
really good.
like just by having these 2 beers by them, I'm excited to go and see what else they have.
Yeah, Tyler's spot on. That's a great beer.
Yeah, 4 for
great
sure.
beer.
This is a 4 for sure.
I get some of the undertones of coriander and stuff like that.
It's very well folded in
It's
though.
it's good.
It's not
It's
too
good.
spicy.
It's
It's
not
a solid
overwhelming.
beer.
It's not overwhelming anything.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Like everything is good. Exactly
All the
where it should
flavors
be.
melt
They tie
together.
together real well.
Really well. Yeah.
So
It's not like one of those beers where you taste one thing and then it settles and all of a sudden it's totally different.
yeah,
It's
there's
just
no aftertaste.
there's no weird aftertaste. It is exactly it tastes the way it smells, and it's exactly what you think it's gonna be, but a little better for me, because I actually really like it, and I don't, again, really don't grab at wheat ales very often. It's the only 2 singles we had access to. We saw it randomly, like it was merchandised on an actual door, so we
In a
were
gas
opening.
station.
Yeah, we were opening the door to get other beers, and we're like, "What's this?" And we saw the little axe and the lumberjack flannel and everything, because like I go for that aesthetic, and I was like, "What?" And Dana's like, "Oh, it's Midland." So I was like, "Well, let's go see how much this costs. If it's not expensive, we're gonna get these." $2 a piece, pretty standard single pricing. So we got both, and I'm really glad we did. This is good.
It's good.
And their menu for their food looks really good too. So it could be like a full-blown dinner and beer kind of a night. Yeah, we're gonna have to go. So that should be an upcoming video, hopefully soon. But we're gonna sit here and enjoy the fire and sip on these suds a little bit longer.
We're gonna enjoy the fire and our leaf blowing / chainsaw person.
Yes, the
neighborhood.
background of our neighborhood. We're gonna enjoy that sound. But thank you so much for tuning in for episode 1 of Bonfire Beer Review Winter Season. We don't have snow yet, but once we have it, you guys will be sick of seeing it, I promise you.
More to come.
I'm excited to see if the bear comes back like last year. If you don't know what we're talking about, I will link that video below because it was really funny. But yeah, have a wonderful night. Stay warm, drink good beer, and cheers.
Cheers.